everyone! I have been spending quite a lot of time on social media lately, not Twitter, but I am quite into Threads these days, and I spent a lot of time on there. Now, I am very much a minnow in the Threads world. I haven't got hundreds and thousands of followers yet, but I'm enjoying starting to build a community, and one of the things I really like about Threads is that people seem to talk honestly on there. And that's something you don't get with Facebook or Instagram, come to think about it. You see, when it comes to Facebook and Instagram, there are some people who just don't tell the whole truth. Now, before I go into a rant, let me just preface it by saying, of course, your social media is entirely your place to say whatever you want to. You can project whatever image you would like to project into the world. I'm not here to stop you. I'm just here to tell you that sometimes it looks weird when you make certain choices. I'm also not here to tell you you have to bare your soul on social media. Also, if we gave every single snippet of our daily lives, it would be exceptionally dull. So, this morning I got up and I cleaned my teeth. And actually, I think I scrubbed too hard. There was a little bit of blood. It was a bit off-putting at first, but anyway, that's fine. Sometimes that happens. And then I got dressed and I decided to wear this top today because I wanted to wear some blue jeans, and I thought, oh, that will go nicely. And I'll update you as to what I decide to have for my breakfast later. I am torn at the moment between Cocoa Pops and porridge. Who knows what I'll choose? But people definitely cherry pick what part of their life they want to portray on social media. For example, you get the parents who decide they are going to portray themselves as either mother or father of the year. Like this. Today I made gloop for my twins, Harriet and Arthur. They had the most wonderful time learning through play. It's so important to give your children these exciting little tasks, and they have so much fun. And of course, I get the fun of knowing that something I have created has given them joy. I'll of course be making them a delicious homemade dinner afterwards because I love my babies and I love being a yummy mummy. Anyway, must go. Shouldn't stay on social media too long. I'm taking them on a nature walk now. And that's fine, but we all know that when there are small children involved, there are going to be times that you are tearing your hair out and you are stressed and sleep deprived, and you probably will just go, oh my god, just go and sit in front of Dora the Explorer. I'm old. I don't think Dora the Explorer is even on anymore. But you get my point. But you would never know that that person ever has moments like that because their Facebook/Instagram is just, oh, everything's blissful. I'm the perfect parent all of the time. I'm not asking for those people to put up pictures of their child screaming when they've just had to take a toy off them because the child was shoving it into their ear. But, you know, let's not make out that we're perfect when we're not. And a case in point when it comes to making out that things are perfect, I know somebody who I used to be Facebook friends with. Now, I'm going to emphasize used to be because she drove me batty. But she used to post daily things where she would be like, I just had a text from my gorgeous man telling me that I am the love of his life. I'm going to screenshot that text so that you can all see how lucky I am. Oh, and he's coming home with a big bunch of flowers for me. I'm so lucky. Don't hate me because you ain't me, girls. And you would think that she had the perfect marriage, that everything was wonderful, that she just adored her husband and he adored her. And dear watcher, she'd been having an affair for quite some time, and everything she put on Facebook was a huge lie. I also used to have a Facebook friend, and again, she drove me crazy, so I deleted her. You know, she'd use terms like my man and my hubby. Oh, just threw up in my mouth. And then she suddenly put this post up where she was like, I've just found my husband in bed with our next door neighbour. How can he do this to me? And loads of people were like, hang on a minute. You've got the perfect marriage. He's always bringing you flowers. He's always making you special dinners. He's perfect, remember? What? And it turned out that actually he was not perfect, and she only portrayed one side of things because she didn't want anybody knowing that he was, an arsehole. And again, I'm not saying she should have told the world that her husband was an arsehole, but if your husband is an arsehole, maybe don't pretend he's perfect on social media. He was not abusive. I just want to point that out. I've been in an abusive relationship and I understand that mentality of being like, no, everything's perfect, because, you really don't want to admit to yourself the truth. And maybe that's how this situation was. Maybe she was determined, like, no, everything will be great. If I say everything's great, it will become great. And I'm not blaming the person for that. She did used to drive me crazy, and that's why I deleted her, but I'm not blaming her for that. I am blaming society as a whole, including you. It's your fault. It's all of our fault, because social media has been created to make people want other people's lives. You scroll through Instagram and it's like, oh, they look happier than me. Oh, she's skinnier than me. Oh, that dinner looks nicer than the one I had tonight. And that's not healthy. There is something really insidious about this thing of we must portray ourselves to be happy and wonderful all the time, and otherwise people will see that life isn't perfect and we simply cannot have that.
I'm fine!
But it's just everything. Social media has this hook on us that makes us just go, okay, I must portray myself this way, and only if I portray myself this way am I worth responding to. Or I have to pretend everything's great all of the time, because if I say things aren't great, then I've failed somehow, because everybody else is saying their life is perfect, so why isn't mine? And again, it would be really dull if we just posted every boring thing that we do in a day just to show what real life is like. I went for a walk into town earlier, and I walked roughly 7,423 steps. It was quite a long walk because I decided I might pop all the way up to Tesco, and that's quite a long way, but I walked at a reasonable pace of around a kilometre every 13.27 minutes according to my Apple Watch. And then when I was at Tesco, I noticed that they were 2 for 1 on cornflakes, so I've decided to have cornflakes for my breakfast tomorrow because I had Cocoa Pops today, and I thought I will try a different cereal tomorrow. And then when I got home from my long walk, I had a cup of tea, but I had a real problem because I split the bag with my teaspoon, and that just wasn't a good time. Sad face emoji. Everybody has a bad day. Doesn't mean that you have to post endlessly that every day is a bad day. It doesn't mean that you failed somehow because you haven't been skipping around in a field full of unicorns and rainbows. But yeah, you can talk about how great your partner is. You can talk about how wonderful your children are. Of course you can do that. Of course you can use your social media in any way you choose. But let's inject a teeny tiny bit of realism, because life isn't always perfect, but it's also not always terrible. It's many different shades of in between. Are you somebody who is very heart on sleeve, tells it exactly as it is on social media? Or are you somebody who has got quite a curated feed? No, I will only post the photos on Instagram when I have taken 27 and cherry-picked the best one. I'm very much like, oh, I look awful in this one. I'm going to post it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I've probably done a very bad job of explaining how I feel, and you guys can probably say it better. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. You can click on my floaty head up there if you'd like to subscribe, and last week's video is over there, which doesn't feature a rant at all. I'm gonna go and lie down. I'll talk to you all next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.